Hello again. Here we are. Same old, same old. Every time I turn around, I'm in this corner of the world. So, how is everybody this evening? Everything working out? Everything's online? Everything is firing on all cylinders. Great to hear. Yo, 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 everybody. Wake up. Hey, the little water. How are y'all? Okay. So, I wanted to do an ice road. I think blue ice is the slipperiest. I'll figure out where to use this later. Alright, cool. Back for another stream. I know. It's going great, Farsk. Thank you for asking. Hopefully it's going good for y'all. Plan for today. I'm going to make an ice road sort of on this level, and it'll ring around the entire rim and then come back here. It's sort of like a super fast travel kind of. Almost like a maglev kind of train, because you can use a boat on ice. Oh, hey! Thank you so much. Gorgon Breath. Cerebral Parasite. I can never tell which one you want to be called by. You don't mind if I call you either, do you? Rainbow Road 2. Well, Rainbow Road was for horse and regular speed hacking back when that was a thing. Now, however, I think, since I've got to use legitimate mechanics and stuff, I think that's probably the best thing to do is the ice boat, since that's still a thing one can pull off. Will the ice ring have, like, stalactites? Why? No. It will be connected up here as soon as I get this damn thing secured. So, what it will be... So, like, every, whoops. One of these things is gonna have... Whoops. Damn it. Ah, damn it. I keep clicking things on accident. Anyway, it's going to be framed with these supports, like so. And so it will pass around every single one of these. And the supports, which will all be in this style, as the thing, runs along the edge. It's just a quick travel method. I've got to build some sort of like a terminal, a way to get on and a way to get off. I'll figure that out later. Hey, Super John Knot. Rainbow Road 2, kind of like that, but it's going to be Ice Road. Probably worded that wrong. Yeah, probably. Wake up, Red Spy in the base. Space Falcon was S tier. Yeah, I saw that. Will all the rings be filled with buildings? Oh yeah. I'm gonna fill this place as chaotically and densely as I can. It's gonna be great. Okay. I'll just put that there for marking's sake. Ooh. What level is this? 129. Okay. It's easy enough. Oh. It sucked that up with it. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Copy this one instead so as to not include that extra bit. I wasn't in the last two streams. Can I tune me in on what I was building? Okay. Last two streams, I built that, and I predominantly worked on this, which is a pseudo virtual reality thing. Inside it, it's sort of like a holodeck, if you will. Now, I haven't built the innards this way, and there's no entrance out onto the disc yet. But obviously, I'll get to that point. So this holodeck cube thing is just basically, I'm going to make a series of these. They're going to be little miniature scaled models of Super Mario 64 levels. And with the push of a button somewhere down here, this is going to be an access point. You know, with you'll select your stuff along the wall, and you can have that level simulated, sort of like a holodeck. Like the holodeck on Star Trek had like pre-selected programs, and you would run them that way. So that's what I'm going to do with this. So, yeah. But for today, I'm going to make the Ice Ring Road. I think that's going to be fun. Oh dear. It's picking up glass. I do not like that. Do not like that, Sam. I am. So we will make a new one and break all the glass. Unless that thing was one thing off a couple streams ago, then ignore this. No, you're fine. You mostly just missed the holodeck thing. That's pretty much it. Get rid of that. And there we go. Perfect. Now aim for 129. Cool holodeck, but quick question for the entire stream. Who pissed my pants? Well, considering they're your pants and that you're probably currently wearing them, I would guess your arch nemesis very likely is the one who pissed your pants. I don't know. That's just my take on the matter. No. I was talking about the music last stream. Oh. You only had like one song playing for 2 hours? No, I spiced it up. I tried 2 songs. I can use more than one. I'm not using any music this stream. The Saturday nights are my talkie streams where I just lay back and you can listen or not, whichever. Ooh. These are getting kind of vertical. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I'm gonna have to innovate on these. Oh god, I hate innovation. Will the ice road look like Rainbow Road? No, it'll be ice. It'll be completely enclosed. It'll be just a dank tube. You're not gonna know. For these, I think I'll make 2 support beams. Because these are kind of getting diagonal. Where's a good spot to start that at? Oh well. Oh hey Mona! Thank you so much, Mona. Jack gets a bit spicy every now and then and throws in a third one. Yeah, sometimes. Okay, it gives me the opportunity to listen to my own music. Okay, well good. Will I be making a restaurant? Yeah, I've got to do that. Okay, so that's the perfect diagonal right here. Or no, this is the perfect diagonal. That was it. Okay, real question. Do I know why end crystals didn't destroy the surrounding land on 2B2T? I'm not sure I understand your question. I mean, they'll blow things up that are blow up a bowl. But, like, If you're talking about obsidian, of course it's not going to blow up obsidian. Nothing will. Obsidian is naturally blast-proof. Okay, so these are beginning to transition more to flat. Yeah. So realistically, I only need to do 1/4. I should make something like the Space Needle. Well, like, I kind of already have, realistically. It's this thing up here. Like right there. I mean, I could make it larger in terms of the ring section, but like, yeah, that's kind of basically the Space Needle right there. Or sort of, semi-sort of. It goes up to the build limit. Like, I can't make this any taller. And if Mojang has their way, I will not be able to make it taller. So I don't know. Have you played a game like Castle Crashers? Fuck me. No, I have not touched that game. I remember hearing about it, but I never really cared. Why should I? I was going to put a longer message, but it kept going. But I'm going to just keep throwing $2 at me. Okay, if you want. What's my favorite Minecraft item? Probably... Ooh. The Elytra. Definitely the Elytra. It lets me... It allows for so much freedom. It's just one of those things, you know? Okay. Well, I mean, I've seen end crystals on grass plains, and the grass doesn't blow up. That... Honestly, I couldn't tell you. If I hadn't seen it for myself, I don't know. I don't know what trickery may be involved. There could be just the simple fact that explosion damage is turned off. I don't know. Like, some servers are fucky. Some servers are not. Just is what it is. Haven't been around for at least 90% of my streams as of now. So excuse me if I suggest something. That's fine. I tend to just tell people whatever, you know, I can or can't do this because of reasons. So I wouldn't worry about it. Paste A. Perfect. As long as this encompasses the thing right, that's all I care about. So yeah, it'll be strung between these support struts. At least that's the hope, but as they become more diagonal, it gets a little complicated. So I don't know, we'll see. Trying the game out. Castle Crashers? Maybe. Rest in peace, Electric Glide. Oh, dude. Oh my god, Electric Glide was amazing. I've got some stories about Electric Glide. I'll tell those some other time. I gotta keep some things in my back pocket. Electric Glide was amazing. Raw Glide was pretty cool too. Won't lie. Remember how we got to old school Space Valk, Mona? Yeah, that was raw. Pre-Elytra Glide. That shit was whack. Jesus, but for air. Wish the version I have now had glide. Yeah, that shit got patched a long time ago. That's why. That's why I don't do that. Eh? Cut. Oh no, what did I fucking do? Did I just fucking... I just fucked. No wonder. Went a little too far. Old school Space Valk was a wild ride. Yes, it was. Be back later. Can someone fill you in? Maybe. Like, I'm gonna start story time real shortly, so, you know. If you miss something, the archive exists for a reason. Or it would be replace. So don't feel bad if you miss something, like, genuinely. You know, you'll have your chance. Do not worry, BB. There we go. Rest in peace, old Space Falcon. Long live Space Falcon. Yeah, pretty much. I swear to God, I made like 15 things, it feels. Even though it's only really been 3 versions, but still. God damn it, I just don't... Stupid arrows fuck me up every time. There. Oh. Excuse me, I have stupid fingers. It does just occasionally mess up. Okay. So I think as the pillars start to get diagonal, I'm gonna have like, I don't know, I'll have to see how it turns out. Because the obsidian's overwriting it, so I don't know. You're not going to be able to see from inside the tube. The tube is just going to be, you know, a tube. It'll have like windows, but that'll just allow you to get a view of the city. Okay. So, all that said, everything aside, let's get started. Now then, where did I leave off last time? Alright, I'll take one last thing and then I'll save your questions till the end, type of thing. It's like Grandpa telling his war stories. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I hope that's kind of the case. I'm at least good for something. I don't know. Righty-ho. So, what did I talk about last? So, tail end of 2018, the chunk dupe happened in late 2018, early 2019. We duped for months, literally months. I'll never get over how long we duplicated items for. It was unreal. I think it was February, late January, the chunk dupe is finally patched. Way too little, too late. And this is when we're really taught firsthand how absurd books can be. Like, the sheer amount of power that overloading the data of a chunk, just for an example, like, that allows for so much manipulation, it's not even funny. And, yeah, needless to say, it was definitely... What a time to be on 2B2T. What a time. Shit, where's the perfect diagonal? Right there. So I think for the perfect diagonal, I will rotate it -90. Oh wait, it would be right here. Perfect. Something like that. So our biggest... You know what? No, that looks like shit. It needs to be diagonal to just match. I'm gonna have to just make a new one whole cloth. But anyway, yeah, our biggest threat in our minds, was not being found. It was having Housemaster erase our stash. Because, I swear, like, not long at all, people's bases began getting really, really big, to the point where it was lagging the server, and House was all like, okay, you cucks, you gotta stop this. And he literally erased part of Sculler G and G-Smack's base, and he annihilated a few stashes. And thankfully, we at Space Valk, we were out in the end at Space Valk 3. And so, funny enough, something about the illegal items plugin was what was causing the lag. So the people who had dupe stashes in the overworld were fucked because they ended up getting, checked by the illegal items plugin. But Offtopia told me that for whatever reason, where they were duping, they decided to dupe in the Nether, and that it didn't affect anything. And he said, yeah, we think the Nether and the End are safe because, the plugin just doesn't check there. And I was like, oh, sweet. So yeah, we got away with duplicating items in a dimension that the plugin apparently didn't even check for. Because, you had hundreds and hundreds of double chests of items, and the plugin was specifically sifting through double chests. And so people's stashes grew more and more absurd. People began to basically lag the server to hell. And that's not even to touch on things like duplicating thousands of dropped item entities and all sorts of crazy bullshit that you could do using the chunk dupe. The chunk dupe was, like I said it last stream, I'll say it again, it cannot be stressed enough. This is the strongest exploit in the game to date. I mean, no comms is bad because it's, it's invincibility, it's God mode, it's, and then the pig God mode, the donkey dupe, the donkey God mode. Yeah, those things are definitely second or third place, but chunk dupe was the pinnacle. Nothing has touched the chunk dupe in terms of its overall sheer power. The ability to cripple the server by just simply duplicating thousands of items at once, you can't state how powerful that is. It was its own thing, in a tier of its own. So yeah, it was a wacky time, certainly. Sadly, it would be the end of an era. The end of the good times. Because, apparently, I don't know if it was in May or if it was in April. I remember dying and falling into the void in April. And that kind of tipped everybody off that Jack had died in his base, because it was pretty obvious that I was working on something. But April 1st of 2019, I get warned by a few former spawn masons that there are people who are going to start searching the end. Now, and we'd also already started to hear about the no-comms exploit to a very minor degree, but we didn't fully understand to what level. We didn't know fully what it was or what was going on or anything like that. We were all heavily underprepared. And yeah, needless to say, oh my god, it was unreal. This is like, it's just absurd what this exploit could do. So apparently, and we would see flavors of this in the form of the donkey god mode stuff. We would see all that very shortly. It got to the point where, like, well, I mean, everybody already knows, like 99% of bases on the server are now compromised because of no comms. And, like, how do you come back from that, It's just, it's jaw-dropping. So many amazing things that happened in such a short span of time. It's just all very unfortunate, But either way, it was either Bubba J or Frickin' who ended up getting my coordinates. Because they had to spiral out in the end. So what they would do is they would use their exploit, spiral out in this fashion. So this is spawn, right? And so they would spiral chunk by chunk by chunk, flying around, going through, because they were in God mode. They were not loading the chunks, but they could tell who was in a chunk. They could tell old chunks from newly ungenerated chunks. And so they'd spiral out in this fashion. And eventually they, of course, because I was loading so many chunks and I was actively building, you know, at that time I was actively laying out these rings that you see here and trying to fill it all in. And it was at that time they kind of pieced two and two together. And sure enough, the pig God mode exploit was also going on that allowed people to you know, fly and teleport using this chunk load method, or not chunk load, but unchunk load method. Yeah, it was nuts. It was absolutely bonkers. Still is kind of like, wow, how the hell? But that's life. This is just how they've operated. So they find the base, they find the copy, because we're at the third site by this point. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they destroyed everything. They waited for a time in which they could effectively communicate and collaborate together to blow the place sky high. Not really much to say about it. Like, they gave the copy as a good a scrubbing as they could. It's very unfortunate, but you know. And then my part in all that, I had no idea they were doing any of this. Of course, nobody knew that no comms was the way they were doing it. But I didn't see it coming, and they made a show out of being, I think it was like base inspectors or some dumb shit. They've always got to have a shtick, a skit that they're following. It's very kind of strange. But you know, that's them. They got to entertain themselves somehow, I guess. And so the copy is completely destroyed. And all the while, I'm like, okay, do these fuckers have another backdoor? Is this another 2016? Can I breathe? Can I not breathe? What's going on here? And so I secretly hop on one of Monoxide, one of Lovely Mona's accounts. And I intentionally kept that account at the second site on purpose so that I could check up on the place on the off chance that something happened. And sure enough, the something has now happened. And, you know, I'm like, okay, what's the extent of the damage? Have we lost both places? Do they even know about this other place? And I log in, run about a kilometer, and nothing. The whole place is completely untouched. Nobody was even slightly aware that there was a second site, that I had ever even bothered to build this place twice. No one knew anything outside my group. And the most overwhelming sense of joy and alleviation washed over me, because up until this point, every time I've been griefed, it was back to square zero. Complete and total reset. And this was the one time that not only was that not the case, it was a total victory. because they had no fucking clue. None of them. They had absolutely no idea that they'd only gotten half the equation. They got to have their moment in the sun. They got to laugh and post about it on the Reddit, you know. I'm shocked as all hell that to this day they did not post a single video or anything. And they took credit for doing it. But that was it. As quickly as they came, they were gone. And that was the end of it. And I never heard or saw them come back online and shitpost. I mean, they tried to the day of the grief while they were doing it, sure. But after that, it was dead radio silence from them. And so I also played on a stash for about a week, I want to say. And immediately, this place gets hit. Now, at the time, I was playing on a known alt. They knew it was me. And it's at this point I go, wait a sec. Somehow, some way, this was a gut instinct. I had not yet fully consciously realized this. But at some point I was like, hold the phone. You mean to tell me that they grief a stash that has no chunk trail to it? Alpha and I made this stash in 2018 when you could boat fly through unloaded chunks in the Nether. So I knew full well there was no trail to this place. You mean to tell me that these guys just happen, by pure coincidence, to find a stash of mine with stuff of mine that a known account is playing at? Less than a week, or about a week or so later. Yeah, I guess it was about a week. You expect me to just believe that that's the case. Something doesn't seem right about that. And I knew that it wasn't right. But I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't have any proof. And I knew that if I went accusing, I'd just be called a lunatic, because that's fresh out, that's like page 2 out of the rule, or out of the Nerds Inc. playbook. Like, you decry and call crazy the people who are trying to suss you out. Like, they always do this. Always. Every time without fail. They always do that. And so I'm like, okay, I see how it is. And so I go completely radio silent. And I know full well that if this is the case, they're looking for me specifically because they know my name, they know my alts, they know all that shit. So I take an alt that nobody has ever heard of. Because, old Jack is wily. He has an account or two that nobody is aware of. Nobody can cross-reference and say, hey, that's Jack. Oh my god, Jack is online. Nobody is aware of anything. Nobody knows anything. Shit. I gotta go up one. And so, that's exactly what I did. I go quiet. I hop on this secret alt of mine. And I immediately go to the second site, which is intact, completely untouched. And I'm like, okay. Now what? And nothing. No surprise visit. No gotcha moment. Haha, we were waiting for you to go back. No nothing. They just fuck off. They're just gone. They quit. And it's just like, whoa. Did I just give the nerds the slip? Yes. That is exactly what I did. I got, somehow, by pure luck, I completely gave all of Nerds Inc. the slip. Like the proverbial gecko that loses its tail. Oh shit, this is off center. God damn it. Yeah, like the proverbial gecko that loses its tail so that the body can escape while the predator gets its, whatever. It's exactly what happened. They were in no way aware of what I'd managed to do. Even to this day, I don't even think they managed to figure it out. Even though, like, I think 2 people now have made videos on this shit. So it's an open secret, like, you know. I guess they just don't care because the second site's already griefed anyway, so, you know, whatever. But it was funny as hell to think, oh my god, I just managed to give these, you know, my sworn enemies, like, they don't know about me anymore. They had no clue that it was me. And they're not going to go looking. They could have, but they're not going to go looking because, quite simply, they think they vanquished me. And the best part is, I touched on this minorly last stream, I spent a week, an entire fucking week, smuggling a donkey out over the void on a 2-wide bridge because they missed a single donkey in their rampage. And that one donkey, yeah, and at the end of the day, you're right, Maslin, at the end of the day, I got the last laugh. Because that was it. They didn't think about it. They didn't consider me, you know, anything more than dead. And that was the best part. I got away. And all they could do is just continue doing whatever the hell it is they do. And thankfully, that was it. That's the last time I ever really had any trouble with the nerds. I don't intend to ever have trouble with them again, because I don't really care to go back to wherever the hell it is they call home. I don't need to, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that was that. And, that's life. We managed to smuggle that donkey secretly out of enemy territory, as it were. Not a whole lot of people could go and look at the ruins at this time. Many would later. But at that time, not a whole lot of people could. And yeah, they kind of threatened to release the world download. I didn't give a fuck. I pretended like it was a crime against humanity, and I was like, no, let me do it. No, let me finish it up. Like, nah, I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. Anything I could give them to distract them, make them not think about me, that was more than enough. And yeah, that's exactly what worked. And so I began my quiet toiling of starting and finishing the disc. Because as everybody is now aware, this fucking place was not finished. The second site was askew. Now I had to deal with the problem of Rainbow Road. I did eventually, of course. But, God, was that a nightmare. But it was easily dealt with in the grand scheme of things. It wasn't that bad. It just made it was more of a slog than anything else. Just a hurt fest. I don't know a good way to say it. Pain in the ass. You know. And we managed to get the donkey here secretly, broke the bridge, nobody knew anything. And sure enough, the same God mode exploit that one could use to, you know, get into God mode could also easily be used to just duplicate items and donkeys, entities, funny enough. So we duplicated donkeys. Made many of them, made mules, made you know, the whole 9 yards. And we just went crazy with it. And I duplicated up enough items to finish off the disc, at the very least. And it paid off. It really did. It paid quite well. The disc was fairly straightforward. It was just a pain in the ass, like I've said. Pretty much from this point forward, I had the world download of the third site and the world download of the second site. So I used Schematica, because by this time I was familiar enough with Schematica. So I used a schematic of the third site, because I got Rainbow Road correct at the third site. I managed to do that right. I kind of figured somewhere along the lines of counting, I got the counting wrong, and that's what threw off my measurements. And so sure enough, I was vindicated. My measurements were correct. And I imposed a schematic of the third site over the second site and found that the north, south, and western gates were all wrong by 1 block. And yeah, that was the pain. I had to break it all down and reform everything. God, that just sends shivers down my spine just thinking about it. But thankfully it was, you know, easily automatable using baritone, which I was well familiar with baritone by this point. And yeah, that pretty much did it. Now, what pane color should I use? Black, maybe? Maybe red, white, light gray. Let's try purple magenta again. So yeah, we built and built and built and built some more because nobody fucking knew I was out here. And every time people would ask, I'd just be like, nah, I quit, man. Nah, bro, I'm done. I would eventually quit, but I hadn't quit yet. Not by that point. And it just kind of kept going. There's really not a whole lot that happened at this point because I kind of... Oh, damn it. Because I kind of, like, stopped keeping track of what everybody was doing. I couldn't really openly advertise that I was around for obvious reasons. So I just kept on. Quietly, of course. And it worked, you know? It genuinely worked. And unfortunately, unlike this thing, it's... There we go. Guess it's just gonna have to be that. But yeah, we kept quiet. I would occasionally have help from my base mates whenever they'd show up. We all regrouped here at the second site. And we just laid down, hunkered down, kept our mouths shut, and that was the end of it. And for about an entire year, that was how we approached 2B2T. Sad to say it couldn't continue forever. Inevitably, first major thing that happened was that in August 2019, the Elytra, after 2 years of being disabled, Elytra came back, and everybody wanted to go and see, because frickin' released the world download that he'd had stored. Everybody wanted to go see Space Valk 3. Everybody. Fit made a video on it. That video has like 2.5 million views on it now. It's unreal. And it just... Everybody's attention was drawn to it. And I was like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Like, people cannot come looking for anything. Because, you know, what if I had a stash or two out here? You know, people are going to think of stuff like that. Like, you can't realistically keep stuff hidden forever. Maybe a few years, but, you know, overall, you know, over time, people are going to people are going to wise up and be inquisitive. They're going to start experimenting, as it were. They're going to start going, hey, what if so-and-so might have done such and such? Well, I don't know. Let's go find out. Hey, I know where they're based. Let's go look them up. And so it was a real anus clenching time, because I was like, oh fuck, what if they come here? Oh fuck, what if they go there? Oh, what if they do this? What if they do that? And I was like, chunk finding with elytra is totally realistic. Like, you could do that. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, wait. I know what we can do. I can create a spider web of loaded chunks. And so that's exactly what I did. And this spider web of loaded chunks kind of worked. Oh damn, this is not gonna play friendly, is it? Yeah, I didn't think it would play nice. Ugh. I'm gonna have to modulate this design somehow. Man, I was enjoying this design too. Fuck. Okay. Well, when in doubt, innovate. Oh well. So anyway, so I immediately got to work with my spider web chunk plan. It was jank, but I feel like it worked well enough. Kind of. It threw people off for a time, and really, it's kind of the best you could hope for, realistically. So the chunk sort of, or the trail, how do I put this? Like, basically, it was just, I started at the ruins of the third site, and then just branched off in random directions, flying around, because you could fly really well with the elytra fly exploit at this time. And yeah, you could just go wild. Okay. I need to make a room instead of it being like what I wanted. This ain't gonna work. Anyway, so you could fly super fast and super well. And it was just really easy to pick a direction and go, pretty much. House would very quickly cuck this. So if I hadn't done this, this whole thing would have very quickly gone belly up. How do I do chiseled? ELED, that's it. Chiseled quartz. There we go. And yeah, it was a convenient time, thankfully. And everything just worked for a while there. The timing was great. Just everything. So I go and I make this huge area of this twisted spider's web of chunks, and I crisscross between them, and like I'm spamming fly everywhere in every way that I can. Well, actually, I like this outer part. And it's working, seemingly. Because nobody has mentioned word one of going out and finding a stash, finding my base, none of that. And I'm just panicking every day. You know, someone might post on the Reddit, Oh, I found another base by Jack. Oh my God, guys, it's even bigger. It's even crazier. Nothing. For weeks, every day I'm just panic checking the Reddit. Just nothing. Nobody is aware of anything, as it turns out. I want to say a few people might have found out, but like kept their mouths shut, or maybe, I don't know, something. But nobody really seems to have been aware that there was genuinely another full-blown copy of the base until literally 2020. It's not until 2020 that people are made aware of this. So for a while, it's just not a thing. Nobody is looking, nobody's thinking about it, nobody's anything. And it's great. Because when it finally sets in that nobody's after me, nobody is aware, none of that, it just opens up this world of creative possibility. Because for a while, I'm like, oh my God, are we untouchable? Is this it? Is this the dream? Like, I think it is. Because nobody's thinking about me. Nobody's shit posting at me. Nobody's whispering to me. Nobody's disturbing me. It's great. Like, it's an unprecedented quietness that I didn't have up to this point. It's really weird. It's hard to describe because, like, unless nobody knows who you are and nobody messages you anyway and you don't have any friends on 2B2T, to go from someone who everyone knows to, like, just dead radio silence, it's eerie, but, like, it's freeing because nobody's on your case anymore. Nobody cares. It's really nice in a sort of cathartic way. I don't know how to put it. Maybe cathartic's not the right word. But, like, it's so liberating to be off everybody's radar all of a sudden. And everybody went to, Space Valk, the third site's ruins. Everybody went there. Everybody was aware of it. People had the world download from the nerds. But, like, people got their fill of it. They just kind of left it alone. In the backs of their minds, they knew about it. But so what? It was a dead base. They got their jollies. They went on about their business. Other bases began to, crop up as they do. Other places were more interesting. It was just interesting to see, it's no longer in vogue, as it were. To no longer be the hit thing that everybody's talking about. And it was kind of freeing, in a way. And so I just kept building this fucking place and making the disc. And I remember when we all got put on quarantine and I didn't have to go out as often. And I made so much fucking progress. It was fun. It was great. In a sort of, everybody else was kind of suffering because, it was the pandemic and all that. But I was just like, oh my God. Like, I still have to go to work, but I don't have to drive to school. We're doing school over Zoom. Nobody's gonna mind or notice if I'm because I'm using baritone to bot it all. Nobody's gonna notice if I'm half paying attention to class and then just like checking up on baritone every so often. Making sure it's got blocks in its hands because baritone was retarded, still is kind of. And just making sure everything works. Just making sure the whole process continues. And it just works. It just works. I don't know that I could have done this without the help of baritone. Baritone was a godsend. The ability to just tell a mindless bot Okay, bot, follow this very carefully laid out schematic. Because I went in single player and merged the second and third sites together. The best of both worlds. I made these central buildings in single player. I filled in the disc. And I just made it do its job. And I distinctly remember having a pain trying to fill in all the water. You know, I made these glass structures by hand. I didn't have Baritone do that, as that would be way too complicated for Baritone. I filled these sections in with glass, but now I'm going to fill them in with dolphins when I get the chance. And just all sorts of crazy shit like that. And I remember designing this emblem here in Obsidian and Quartz. I designed this in MS Paint. And I made it, translated it to a schematic, made it do its thing. It was great. And then I told Baritone, okay, this needs to be Obsidian, this needs to be Quartz, follow the schematic, retard, place the blocks. And I would spend hours watching videos, babysitting Baritone, and just having it do its job. It was wonderful. I was the foreman. It was the peon, the worker, whatever you want to call it. And business as usual. Carried on like that for months. Okay, good. I'm making sure there's an 8-block gap between the wall and the track. So yeah, it worked. It was great. It was wonderful. It was the last bit of peace of mind I would ever have on 2B2T. And that's really weird to say because nobody has ever truly had peace of mind of any kind on 2B2T. At least not that I'm aware of. And, yeah. Yeah, it was not to last. It was not to last. Because, at some point, I don't know whose idea it was, this Turkish streamer, he got this idea to go and visit the ruins on 2B2T. He explored the world download, knew where the third site was, and in May of 2020, May 2020, almost a year to the day, which is like some sort of weird poetic justice. I don't know. He ended up, he and his dumbass friends bungled their way from the third site to the second site and found this place completely intact and immediately jumped to the conclusion, oh my god, it's Space Valkyria 4. Well, no it isn't, but that's the conclusion they drew. And they could only speak broken English, so it made it really difficult to try and communicate with them what they were doing and, you know, how they were doing me wrong. The first thing they do, first fucking thing they do, okay? This is why I hate them. First thing they do, post the chords on the Reddit, start trying to sell them. Like, you think it's Space Valkyria 4. So the first thing you do immediately is, okay, we got to sell this to the highest bidder. And thankfully, I believe Alpha was online or awake or something at the time and saw what was going on. And it, you know, I want to say I was either not yet online or I was about to be online, something like that. Happened in the early morning because Turkey is several hours ahead of us. So it was midday for them, but it was early morning for us. Let me tell you, all the fun shit happens when you're not awake. Without fail. Base is being raided, you're not awake. Or you're at work. One of the two. Without fail. Every goddamn time. Without fail, the fun shit happens when you're not awake, you're not online, or you're at work. And, yeah. Oh, fuck, we're deviating way too much. Five. Fuck, where'd I go wrong? 6. 7. Okay, so right around here. So yeah, it always goes wrong when you're not available to do anything about it, realistically. And yeah, that was... Thankfully, Alpha could deflect to a degree. But, like, the moment they posted on the Reddit that this existed, it was too late. Because there were at least 4 bots, Discord bots, that people had access to that immediately archived. Even though they deleted the threads once we talked to them, they immediately archived that this shit was up. And it was too late. It was just too late. And yeah, that was pretty well the death knell of the base. Because the moment people knew that it existed, in any way, shape, or form, was the moment I knew we can no longer live here. You know what? Fuck it. Let's follow this pattern here. This is a perfectly good pattern, the sea lantern pattern right here. Why am I not using it? Anyway, so the jig was up. Like, we had a year of peace. Realistically, that's way more than anyone would normally get. You know, gotta make the best of it. Take it all in stride. And that was it. And it was just such a sad thing that it just had to be an incompetent bunch of boobs that would get a hold of such an amazing base. And they would immediately think to ruin it. And they didn't give out the coords because, as I said, they wanted to sell it. But that got a few people like Goljon and just like a bunch of people. That got them looking. And by the time people are looking for something, it's too late. People will find it. And they specifically mentioned, because, you know, if you're going to sell the location of somewhere because you're, like, you have no honor, so you're going to do that. You're not going to grief it yourselves. No, you're going to sell it to the highest bidder. But then in the same post, you mention, oh, by the way, it's near the old space Valkyria 3. Like, what the fuck do you think people are going to do, you know? Like, immediately people are going to be out in force looking for it. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So we started finding people like Gojon had found the place. And I think Stone Cold Killer, Hurt Locker Beck found it. Thankfully, these people were cool and didn't immediately just fuck the place up. They could have, but they didn't. And it just was like, okay, you know. And come to find out later, many other people had secretly found it, but kept it to themselves. Gee, almost like, you know, these people could have learned a lesson. You know, keep this shit to yourself. And, yeah. That was the end of it. And, you know, I was just like, well, what do you do? And so we moved far, far away. Not going to say where. As far as I know, the stash is still there. Stash nearby, got found a while ago. I fully expect that place is probably gone, especially by now. But yeah, that's all of it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's been a fun ride. And I just took a step back from 2B2T as a whole and thought, you know, we're not updating. Not changing anything. Things are not getting funner. Come to find out, this no comms thing has been a thing for years at this point, about 3 years. Like, realistically, you know, how much more do I intend to subject myself to? And so I was just like, okay, I'm done. That's enough. I'm done. And I quit. I haven't been back on the server since. I've played on the temp map. But I don't know. I'm not a fan. The problem is, even if no comms is dealt with, you know, do I want to stream this place or building some new place? Because obviously it would have to be a new place. Do I want to stream that and then constantly have it in danger of having to be just destroyed? Because there's so many precautions I'd have to take, and like, I don't know, is there any realistic way that I could do this without it blowing up in my face? Is there such a thing? And the more I think about it, the more I go, no, there isn't really a way to do it. And if I want to stream 2B2T content, it's going to probably end up being, you know, can I escape from the whatever? And don't get me wrong, that's fine. If that's your thing, go right ahead. But like, can I escape from spawn? That's just not fun. I just don't find that interesting. I don't find that entertaining. I don't want to do it. That's just not me. It just isn't. I'm not a PvPer. That's just not fun to me. I will PvP only in as far as I have to. I'm not the type of person to get involved with drama. I will grief your base. I will steal your shit. I've done that dozens of times. But like, I enjoy creating. That's my thing. Whoops. I've been able to do more creating in just the last few months than I think I've ever done on 2B2T, apart from that 1 year, the year 2020. The year of our Lord, the year of our COVID. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever get that kind of peace of mind on 2B2T. Especially not if I'm streaming it. So, I'm left with two options. Either covertly do shit and just be quiet about it and never do anything out in the open. Which, you know, realistically, yeah, that's kind of how it is. And then show it off when it's dead. I guess. But that kind of, I don't know, that kind of kills the fun to a degree. Because, I don't know, I just don't have, how do I put this? Whoops. I find that if there are people, because I've always found this to be a problem for me, if I'm creating something on my own in single player and no one sees it, no one hears about it, no one does anything with it, the project dies on the vine. I don't get off the ground, I don't get anywhere. It just isn't something I can do. And if I have an audience, if I have someone to look at something, and that's predominantly why I could do things on 2B2T, is because I knew that someone would find my stuff eventually. And that drive to know that someone would see it eventually, that kind of was enough. That was enough for me to create stuff, for me to want to build something, for me to enjoy building that something. And that's fine, you know? To want to show off... Oh, fuck. Ah, fuck. Stupid fingers. To want to show off, like, I enjoy doing things and people seeing it. I guess performing for an audience is the right way to put it. I don't know. And so having people around to see what I do, that gives me a reason to do it. Enough of a reason, I should say. There we go. That's the middle point. And that's fine. But, like, I'd have to fill the void with something else, you know? You're just happy seeing the build. I don't know. Yeah, but Jack isn't Toro. Yeah, I'm not Toraga dude. Like, I don't even know what Toro's up to. I haven't seen hide nor hair of Toraga dude in ages. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to stream something like 2B2T simply because it'd be too risky and I'd never get anywhere. I'd never be able to create something. So I don't know. And if I can't create something, what's the point? Okay. So yeah, not entirely certain I'll ever do any 2B2T streams, or that I even want to do 2B2T stuff ever again. Perfect. Because I don't know. I don't know how 2B2T itself is shaping up. It's like it's so... Puppet Master, create a game. Okay, interesting. Are you and Crowbar the same? No. No, I'm not Crowbar. I've talked to Crowbar. He's British. Or Australian or something like that. Okay. There we go. I don't know why I thought I had to lay that out by hand. Silly me. Okay. So now... go out here. You saw a guy called Crowbar in the chat. Oh, Crowbar! Oh, that Crowbar. Holy shit. Yeah, you are an Aussie. That's right. Dude, you are the... Oh, sup, Crowbar? What brings you here? British? I love that. No, he's not British. Ah. Well, I'll do a base tour at the end, just for you. I'll try to go into a little more detail about it when I normally do, just because I've done so many overviews of this place, like I kind of get sick of doing it, but... Uh-oh. Where are you at, light source? Errant light source, you're around here. I can smell you. His messages aren't flipped? Oh, because he's supposed to be upset. So funny. There we are. Killed it. Hate that shit. Fuck you, World Edit. Get your shit together. Okay. So this is the middle. Okay, so this will be about 6 blocks wide. That should work. Now let's hope it didn't fuck everything up. Jack is my future wife. No. Thanks, Jack. I'm very original. Well, I'm glad to hear you are. Did I add stuff to the bottom of the disc? Oh, yes. I will show it all off at the end of the stream. Just stick around. Just downloaded my Skyblock world and found it an unbeatable base in every aspect. Loved it. Well, thank you. I poured a lot of effort into that place. A lot more than I needed to. Mostly just because it was a nice creative outlet. And it shows that in survival I can do shit on the same level as what I'm doing in creative, just a little bit slower, obviously. You will wait for me? Aw. Aw. I'm touched. Alright. Let's just shore this part up. Alright. So yeah, I guess that's going to do it for story time for the evening, because that's pretty well the end of my history on 2B2T. I'll get into, like, more minor happenings at other times, basically, just because I do want some stories to occasionally pad out, you know, me building and shit. Yeah, I think that's all I'll do for the story aspect. Anybody got questions, I'll happily answer. Who's my favorite waifu? I don't have one. Shinobu from the Monogatari series is my spirit animal. So if anyone has a burning question of any kind, I will happily say yay or nay to it. Anywhere you can access a world download of the original Space Valkyrie 3. You know, I don't know. I don't know who has it. You would probably be talking about the third site. Most likely the world download the nerds made. I think frickin' made a Google Drive account, and that's on that. You could try to find the old Reddit post. I'm not giving out any downloads till I'm done with this place, and it'll be the full thing as you're seeing me make. But other than that, good luck. I'm sure people have it downloaded. I'm sure if you talk to enough people, they have it. It's a kind of a shell of it, you know. You're not going to find it to the degree that this is. You know, if you're hoping for something as close in quality to this, then you're out of luck on that one. Nobody's getting this till I'm done with it. Okay. Did anyone log into my account with the auth exploit? Ah, great question. No, as far as I'm aware, nobody did because I had gone underground by that point. I was using an unknown alt. Now, I did very panically because I heard about it. I was told ahead of time, you know, get your accounts out of your base. And this was while they were actively logging into people's shit. So I renamed my account, the main account, Jack therippa, this one, secretly. Nobody knew. I renamed it, logged in real quick, bought priority, got the fuck off the second site. So if they had, they would have gotten the second site. Nobody knew anything. Stranded myself at spawn. Quietly renamed the account back to Jack the Ripper about a month later. People noticed in this time, but by that time, the account auth exploit had long since been patched, and that was that. Nobody got me. It was all pure dumb luck on the part of the Turks. And that was it. And if they hadn't gotten lucky, I'd probably still be building on this place. It really kind of boggles the mind. I have to wonder, what would I have done had they not gotten that? Had they not gotten lucky, would I be building buildings in 1.12 by hand? I don't know. I can tell you this, I wouldn't have been able to show this place off in any capacity. I would have had to sit on it and keep my mouth shut. And you guys would not have this now, so I don't know. So badly want the world download of this place in its glory, mainly because you want to make really cool loading screens. Huh. Sure, I'd love to see that when you do that, yeah. You want to check out the difference between the actual finished disc? Oh, well, the difference is night and day. I mean, just look at it. I miss old 2B2T, all my friends are here edition. Oh, I do too, man. I do too. I know that, what's that? It's, there's one place a lot of the old people, old fags went. What is the name of that server? Anarchy.pw, that's it. There are a lot of people play there. To be honest, I don't care to interact with a lot of those people. They were never good people or nice people or interesting people. They were always people who were up to no good. They were always people who were doing shit that I had no power over. Generally, it was something involved with griefing bases, griefing my base, an account exploit, a new cord exploit, something like that. Like, it was usually more of a headache than it was worth. That's just my 2 cents. Guess it's pretty obvious you're religiously obsessed with Half-Life. Oh, cool. Yes, I loved Half-Life 2. Half-Life is so good. Can't wait for Friday. I'm going to be playing Half-Life again. Love Fridays. Freeform Friday is my anti-drug and my drug at the same time. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this halfway, because I'm just going to do whatever I do to this. But I'm just going to cut it in half and flip it and go that way, so that I've got an exact 1/4 of the entire thing, and then copy it, remove the shit I don't need, and then rotate it 90 degrees the opposite way, and then there we go. Jack, you have a question. Am I singing? Or am I single? Sorry. Yes, I'm single. Currently, I do not have a GF. I really don't want one right now. I really don't. I'm too busy focusing on life and doing other things, and taking care of someone is just not on my to-do list. Or being someone's significant other is just... that takes a lot of mental energy and dedication to do properly. And if you don't, the relationship will just fall apart. So, yeah, it's just not worth it right now. But eventually, I'm sure one day I'll give a shit. I'll be more free at that point. Really want to make a Space Valk resource pack, but not the capacity to make one. Aw, that's unfortunate. Could I get you on my 100 by 100 server? This isn't really a serious question. No, I don't want to play another person's server. All the world downloads are on the archive server. Yeah, that's right, the archive. I forget about that. This map's world download would kill my PC like the Anarchy Skyblock world did. Yeah, that one's pretty big. Wait, you put your single-player world, not even close to this, with the Northern Lights and all that, on the archive server? I gave Turban to put on the archive. I gave him my blessing. I gave him the last version of 1.12, which was a merger of the third and second sites, along with the Aurora Borealis at the very top. That was before I updated this place to 1.16, so it did not have the towers on it. So the disc is totally empty, but the disc is also finished in that the inscribed magic circle is on here. Everything's filled in, all the water, all that. There are no city buildings, none of that. There are the 4 cardinal direction things, and then there are some water passages, the water tubes. And I think that's it. And then, of course, the central pillar. And yeah, that's all that's on there. It's on the archive. Turbin has that. I gave him that world download. Gave him that over a year ago now, if I recall. So yeah, that's that. Pretty much. Jack is now my GF, not clickbait. Yeah, sure. Jack doesn't need a GF. We got Shinobu. I'm not Shinobu. How the stairs going to rotate when I copy it 1/4? They will rotate. Everything part of a selection rotates. Things that do not rotate would be orientation of new stairs. So, for example, if I select this and then I go replace quartz stairs with stone stairs, it does not replace the orientation. But if I copy and then I move a ways away and then I paste, it maintains the orientation. If I rotate, if my stupid fingers will allow, 90 degrees and then paste again, it pastes the orientation. So I don't have to worry about these stairs. They're gonna behave. I've done this a billion times, so I at least know that. But it's when I'm replacing the materials that I have to do it by hand for things like stairs and slabs, because the world edit is retarded. It doesn't understand, oh, you might want to keep the orientation of what I'm replacing. Huh. Who would imagine? Who could conceive of such a thing? So yeah. What anime am I watching currently? Well, I'm waiting for Stone Ocean to start up. I've heard about that, but no announcement has really come out for that. So Stone Ocean's looking like it's going to be a fall anime. So I'm looking forward to that because it's JoJo and everybody's hyped for that. ReZero might be getting something soon. I loved ReZero when it was airing. So there's that. What else? There's Mushoku Tensei. I'm going to wait for that to finish. Slime Tensei, when that finishes, I'm going to binge all that in one fell swoop. What else? There was something. I can't think of it at the moment. Oh, that's right. The visual novel, Tsukihime. The Tsukihime remake visual novel is coming out somewhat soon. And I'm betting, I don't know, but I'm betting that there will be a remake anime for that. Because the original Tsukihime anime we got 12 years ago, or no. God damn. 15, 16 years ago was awful. And the Tsukihime novel deserved its remake. So hopefully they remake the anime in as epic a manner as like what Fate Stay Night got. There's obviously the Fate Grand Order. I might look into that. I don't know. There's too much Fate stuff. So yeah, that's some of the stuff I'm doing. Steel Ball Run. Yeah, Steel Ball Run. Oh my god, Steel Ball Run. If they do that after Stone Ocean, which I guarantee you they'll do a Steel Ball Run adaptation. Like, they're pretty dedicated to doing every part. And then hopefully JoJolion will have finished, so they'll do an adaptation of JoJolion, and we're probably looking at 2026, 2027 by the time we're there, so who the fuck knows. So yeah, cool. Jack, don't forget to show off the Great Obsidian Sphere. That's more of a meme than anything else. That doesn't have a meaning. That isn't part of the build. That was just something I needed because I needed to cut part of it, I think. And then I did away with... And then I was like, oh, well, I'll just leave the rest of this. And so it's a giant black sphere out in the middle of nowhere. It's not important for anything. Okay, read that they're supposed to get a remake. Yeah, well, we'll see. What is my first car? My first car was a Honda Accord, a 1994 Honda Accord. Or maybe it was a 93, I don't remember. It was on the cusp of turning 20 years old, and it died in 2018, and so I had to get my current car, which is a Toyota Camry. Pretty good car. Not gonna lie, I enjoy it. It's a better car in every way, it really is. But you know, you never forget your first car. Oh, never forget. Nobody ever forgets their first. Let's see here. Anyone have recommendations for someone who hasn't watched anime before? I've not dived too deep, only watched Shimonetta and Girls in Panzer. Fate Zero. Fate Zero is an excellent first-timer anime. Fate Zero does a lot of cool shit. It's an excellent ride. Cowboy Bebop is an amazing anime. Outlaw Stars, pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with Slayers. Slayers is a good old fantasy anime. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a nice little show. Yeah. Oh my god, I just realized I done did a goof. And it's a big one. Or wait, is it? Wait, did I goof or did I not? Okay, so these are all going this way. Oh, okay. I didn't fuck up. Whoops. Okay. So this... Might have to just be slabs for that one. Okay. Good. You're gonna make a quick Space Valk logo concept. Cool. Show it to me. I'd happily see it. Berserk is good. Yes, Berserk is great. Forgot about Berserk. One Punch Man is fun as hell. Yeah, I loved One Punch Man. I've watched and read all of Berserk. Death Note was pretty decent, yeah. Use the thing as a second space station. I don't know. I feel like that kind of is getting out of the scope of what I'm trying to do. Because, like, I'm trying to minimize all the stuff that I'm building outside, basically. Okay. So now we look straight up. Flip it. Paste dash A. Oh, it's one block too tall. Fuck. Oh well. Easily averted. So we just need to stand here and paste it in. And voila! It fits inside the limits. Perfect. All right. Shaping up. Currently watching Hajime no Ippo. Yeah, that's not a bad one. It's very long, though. I think it's still going on, actually. I don't know. Not a question, but it surprises me how many old and mid-fags disappeared. Yeah, I know. During the 2016-2018 era so quietly. I mean, that'll do it. I told you, we kind of lost the Russia War. We lost our culture. That's really kind of what did it, and people were not happily ready to defend it. And as a result, we lost it. And people, that's precisely how we lost. We quietly bowed out. Instead of people sticking around and obstinately saying, we own this place, this is our place, fuck off, we just vanished. This is what you get. When you are not willing to defend your territory, you lose it. That's life. Animals know it. Humans know it. You know. So it kind of really made people go, is this place worth defending? But I'd say, yeah, it was worth defending, but nobody was willing to really defend it, so it's gone. 2B2T is up to the new people now. The people who play there now. I don't know. Can I do seed? No, there's no point. Hello, I'm Mohammed. Will I ever do more spaceships? Maybe, but they'd only be Easter eggs. They wouldn't be my spaceships. Rebuilding Spacebalk with even baritone and creative, maybe even multiplayer creative and baritone would still take a while. Yes, it would. I think the manga is, but the anime is done for now, around 100 episodes. Good lord. Oh man, no, and oh, you think that's a lot though? Yeah, One Piece. One Piece has a lot of episodes as well. One Piece is insane. Like, just the sheer volume of stuff I'd have to watch is kind of what would turn me off. 2017 was the nail in the coffin for when I left shortly. I wonder if my dog is still alive. Probably not. When House revoked Old Fag Q, that was also the nail in the coffin. A lot of people don't realize just how important that was. And a lot of people were upset, you know, and a lot of people were trafficking in accounts and stuff that was quote-unquote illegal and other dumb shit. But yeah, that's kind of what did it. Here we are. Says Aisan is the longest anime with 1,000 or 7,000 something eps. Oh yeah, that's that family life something or another anime, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard of that one. Says Son no Household or something like that. You really don't like One Piece? I'm not into it either. That's cool. It's okay to not like something. Am I planning on doing anything with the 1.18 stuff? Of course. I've already done stuff with 1.17 stuff, so eventually I plan on getting into 1.18 stuff. But we actually, you know, need it, 1.18, for me to do stuff with it. Took you 5 months to finish, good lord. Did you, like, no-life it? You had to have. Have I thought about running my own Anarchy server? Ugh. That would be a fucking nightmare. No thank you. Crazy to think you spent 6 years of your life on a block game. Oh, dude. Huh. You've only spent 6. I've spent like 10. Well, actually, no. I've spent almost 12. Because I got into this game in January 2010. So this coming January will be 12 years for me. So like, but see, I enjoy the block game. I love it to death. I wouldn't give it up for anything. So like, I don't think I would have believed anyone if they told me I'd be playing in 12 years. If you went back in time and told me in 2010, you know. But like, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Like, I've had a lot of fun memories here, there, and everywhere. So it's fine. Do I watch Fit MC? Occasionally. I watched Fit's more recent video just to see what the hubbub was. He gave me S tier. I actually don't agree with him. Funny enough. Because he rated the original Space Valkyria, and the original Space Valkyria is nice, but it's a solid B or A tier build. Space Valk 3, on the other hand, is its own thing. That's where things get... Oh no. I copied things. I was like, where the hell did this water come from? Oh, what am I doing? But yeah, it's not bad. It's just not worthy of the level it got, because it's the original Space Valk. I never got to finish it. It's not as majestic because it's only half done. It's okay, but it's not great. Huh. Oh, because I copied and flipped. That's what I did wrong. Well, shit. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff that's wonky like that. Or, well, no, only up to about there. So maybe not. I guess that's fixable. Never mind. It's not that bad. Ah, fuck it. I'll fix that later. I don't want to get too distracted from the goal at hand. Okay. For its time, it's A tier. For its time, I guess it would be S tier. Maybe. I don't know. Fit was kind of counting things for its time. He mentioned that with like Ziggy Bass and a few others. Personally, I would count them modern, from a modern perspective. For its time, it may have been cool, but today, Ziggy Bass is a meme. A lot of places are a meme. Valley of Wheat, that's a meme. Like, it ain't nothing now. So, I don't know. It's not fair to count places like that in a modern sense, so I understand why he did it. But, my personal opinion is that Space Valk was an A, and that eventually it might have been S tier if I hadn't gotten found and shit way back in the day. But, who knows? Who really knows how things might have turned out? Like, you can play the what-if game all day long and never come to any satisfying conclusions. That's life. Feature Notch in the next stream. I don't have Notch. I'm not going to get a hold of Notch. Notchus Neckbeardia? Nah, I couldn't talk to the man. I wouldn't know what to say to him. It would be cool to meet Notch and all, but like, I don't know. I don't know what I would say to him. Like, thank you for making Minecraft, I guess, but anything beyond that, I don't know. Valley of Wheat has been reduced to atoms, oh I know. Except for the bits people were able to remake for the last... What was it? They made it secretly for a few months, something like that. What's my favorite block? I'm looking at it. What is my favorite block? You changed my life. I'm just a block game creator. I know. But that's all you have to do. You don't have to do a whole hell of a lot to change people's lives. Especially not in the internet age. Hundreds of years ago, sure. Hell, even 100 years ago, you would have had to do a lot to change people's lives. But that's the beauty of technology. It can change lives for thousands and thousands of years to come. How long have I been working on this project? About 3 years, roughly. Hey, you're new. Anyone got cords? Nope. No cords for you, beggar. Does Notch own a mansion? I have no idea. Or doesn't he own a mansion with like 10 bat? I guess. I don't know. Some people go crazy when they get lots of money and they buy shit that they don't need. And then they realize when they don't need it just how empty it is. God, could you imagine living all alone in a giant mansion? Like that would actually kind of be scary. And not for like the usual reasons, but for existential ones. Yeah, I could see that being pretty awful. You've met all your friends from Minecraft, and it's your way from coping. For coping with anxiety. Yeah, I can understand. Friends help you get through things. They're good to have. Favorite block is sponge. Okay. You play this block game for too long. Well, I enjoy life and I enjoy this block game, so I guess I will make this block game my life. It's not much, but you know, it's my choice. I've always wanted a house with one giant room in which you could just have a huge table in the middle and just display stuff. So what, like a rat map? Or like just like a giant entrance room or a giant living room? Like, what do you mean a giant room? Like, you got to be a little more careful with how you choose that. Because, like, I would love a scale replica of a house, or of a room in a house that's like way out of proportion to where it's like 3 times larger than a normal person. And all the items in it are also equally large, and like those were some of my favorite maps to play in, like Gmod and Counter-Strike or not Counter-Strike, Half-Life Deathmatch and games like that, where you could just play a rat map and get lost in secret passages and shoot people. It was so much fun. God, those were some amazing fun times. Playing Minecraft for almost 6 years. Well, I've been playing Minecraft for double that. Almost 12. I can remember when this game was a shitty little browser Java applet on some sketchy website hosted in Sweden. And I was just like, oh, this game looks like ass, but you know, it's kind of got a nostalgic feel to it, and it plays like Legos, so I'll keep playing it. And then InDev happened, and then InfDev happened, and then Alpha happened, and then Beta happened, and then Life happened, and here we are. Isn't time fun? Us peasants have to build in a block game while Notch builds in real life. No, you don't have to be a peasant to be able to build. I mean, peasants can build, is what I mean. Have you ever heard of flipping houses? You can do that. You can go and work in construction and literally build houses if that's something you like. You can become an architect and design them. Get paid pretty penny for it, too. Like, life's your oyster if you want it to be. Don't necessarily think it isn't. You're only as gated behind things as you allow yourself to be gated. You're only stuck in behind a gate until you build a fence gate. Until you build a way out. That sounded clunky as hell and was way better in my head. Oh well. They can't all be humdingers. Okay. Okay. So, close this shit up. No, it's this block. Fill blue, ice. Perfect. Hell to the yes. Oh, I better close off the other end because it'll propagate outward. Anarchy Minecraft helped you cope during the 8th grade when you felt invisible and non-existent in front of everyone. Vulgar, racist rejects playing on a block game befriended me when my classmates disowned you. Oh, man. Well, good. I'm glad you found something that you could make out of it. Like, that just, you know, completes my thesis that from disorder, you know, from chaos, inevitably, order naturally emerges. Like, that's the reason we don't live in chaos right now. That's the reason the universe has order to it, is because order naturally emerges from chaos, and will always do so every time given the chance. Jack, do I like Borgir? I have no idea what that is. You mean burgers? Borger? Is that what you're trying to say? You've been playing for 7 years now, which is somehow longer than any of your friends. Well, good. Keep playing. You might find something you like doing, if you haven't already. Okay. What command did I use to fill that in with ice? Fill, item name, radius. And so it filled it in. I couldn't do it with the edges because it would spill out everywhere, and there's no effective way to do that. But yeah, at least not that I know. What am I building? Well, welcome, Princess Molly. I hadn't seen you in a while. See, I hadn't seen you today, I mean. Not in a while, but you know what I mean. I am building a ring kind of thing, and it's gonna... God, this is slippery. And it's gonna be a thing that I do. Okay, so we've copied that. So from here to here is 16 blocks. All right. This is a basically a hyperloop, a transit thing. I don't know. Actually. Okay, so from there to there is 15. So I'll just do this. I should have just done the stacks feature sooner. Building a ring for my girl. What? Jack, what do I think about 2B2T? I've already elucidated that many a time. I'm tired of talking about it. 2B2T is not really anywhere that's fun to be anymore. I forgot to connect all the stairs at the bottom. Oh no! Oh God, I forgot to do that thing that I didn't ever intend to do. Because this ring doesn't have any of the stairs connected at the bottom, top, middle, or anywhere. Huh. Wow, it's almost like that was intentional. Because it makes it blend in a little bit better. Just a little. So yeah, no, I didn't connect them up on purpose. Like, this is very much how it should be. Wow, this ice, I should probably have put this in last. Messing with this is annoying. One Piece is a 900, yeah, in the 900 episodes, I know. How old was I when I started? Didn't it start in the late 90s? I was probably 9 or 10, I want to say. I was 10 at the turn of the century. So, yeah, that sounds about right. It was like 98, 99 when that anime started. So, yeah, I was about 9 or 10. It's hard to believe that I can say the turn of the century and mean it, unironically. It's hard to believe that that's a thing that happened. But, you know, that's life. Okay, smart house. Thank you. My ass is quite smart currently, but it's also hurting. So give me a sec. So I'm 32. Yeah, I'll be 32 in September, actually. Stack 5. Tree. Hot take, but I don't think cereals with marshmallows in them are good. They're okay. If you like sugar, it's fine. But I mean, that's all marshmallows are, is just pure sugar. And the worst part is they're not even the jet puffed sugar. It's like a compacted, spongy sort of sugar that's like okay, I guess. But I liked that when I was a kid because I didn't know any better. But now that I have actual tastes, you know, I prefer to not eat nothing but sugar or sugar-coated wheat, processed wheat or oats. I prefer to eat proper food. Hey Jack, what's my IRL job? It's a pharmacy technician. Actually, I'll just do this one manually. It's small enough. Fuck it. I will do it by hand because these are getting too tiny now. Awesome. Nice. What day in September? The 4th. A few days before the holy hell 20-year anniversary of 9/11. I can't believe that. Do I like coffee? Oh, I love coffee. Drink a nice, huge cup of iced coffee every morning. It's wonderful. If you're not drinking iced coffee, you're not living properly. Bye for now. Okay, see you, Sherry. Thanks for coming. As a kid, I would rather get Lucky Charms solely for the marshmallows. None of the actual cereals, no milk. You just pick out the marshmallows. Yeah, that's typical. Kids are very sugar hungry. As you get older, you lose that desire for sweets. At least, normally you do. Some people don't, but I hope you do, because it's bad for you if you don't. Really bad for you. Click, 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 click. Clicking ASMR. You know, maybe I ought to make this a slight ASMR thing from now on. Since everybody's into that shit, apparently. I was able to see 9/11? No, I didn't, actually. Hey, that's a fun story I could tell, I bet. Because it still somewhat frosts me to this day that this is how the shitty school that I went to, I'm not going to name the school, of course, but this is how that shitty school decided to handle this national incident. Okay? So 9/11 happens early in the morning, September 11th, 2001. Right? Terrible tragedy, horrible things happen, you know, that's life. Nothing. Now, what do I mean when I say nothing? We get nothing. No school-wide announcement, no mention of anything, no any sort of acknowledgement that this terror attack has happened, no lockdown, because I'm pretty sure a lockdown procedure, it may or may not have been in place, but it was probably called for, because nobody knew anything in the hours it was happening. We didn't have any information on what was going on. You know, it was a big deal. It was understandable. And Nothing. Radio silence. The administrators never said anything. I was in middle school at the time. Nobody mentioned that anything bad had happened at all. It was a completely ordinary day. And at this time, because, school year starts roughly early to mid-August. So by this time, I'm in the groove of going to school, and I have a little routine that I'm doing. And so I get homework, because in middle school, one of the things they adjusted us to was circulating between classes. So we would go to various classes, various teachers, and, that's how the big boy schools would do it, high school, college, and so on. So you'd only really ever have one teacher per subject. So the teachers were kind of getting a little overzealous with homework. So in homeroom, every time, I would just do my homework. And it was a pretty good system. I didn't have to do homework at school or at home. I got it all fairly done pretty easily. I'd spend maybe 30 minutes doing that, and that was fine. Homeroom teacher didn't seem to mind. It was all good. And homeroom was a good 30, 40, almost an hour-long class from what I remember. It wasn't really a class, but, whatever. Homeroom. And that was that. I didn't think a thing of it. I didn't know anything had happened. And I just went about my life, did homework, and the final bell rings for the day. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm done. Let's go home. And my homeroom teacher says something to me that just stuck out to me as so weird. Because she'd never said any such thing before. And taken on its own, it wouldn't be any weirder than anything we'd say today. You wouldn't think anything was wrong. It was just, wow. Why is she wishing us to stay safe? Go home, be with your families. Because that's what she said. Go home, be with your family. Never said anything about that before. Never made mention of it again. Never said anything about stay safe. And I'm like, that's weird. Something's up. And, of course, taking 30 or so minutes to do homework, I leave somewhat later. School hasn't shut down, by the way. I'm completely free to still be there. The bell has rang and people are dismissing. But, you can be a slowpoke and be perfectly fine. Nobody's going to hurry you out the door. Nobody seemed to be in a hurry. Nothing was weird, other than that one remark my homeroom teacher made. And I was like, something's up. And at this time, I was lucky. My house was within riding distance from the school, so I was able to ride my bike, and it was so fun. It was freeing. I could ride to school at my own leisure, ride home, get home quickly. It was great. And I start riding down the road, and here comes my mother barreling down as fast as she can because she's worried. Looking back, yeah, she is deathly afraid. She doesn't know anything. And she's like, Jack, what are you doing? Get in here. And I'm like, what? What? I'm riding my bike home. What's wrong? Huh? And I'm trying to, I'm like, I don't understand. This is normal. I've been doing this for over a month. What's happened? Nobody's fucking told me anything. It's been hours since 9/11's happened. Nothing. Just radio silence. Radio silence from everyone. No one had the courage to say anything. This is a national tragedy that I will literally hear about for decades to come. Nothing. And it's just like, and years later, I've heard stories of people, locking down, the principal or administration making an announcement or having a moment of silence, appropriate things you might actually expect people in power to go, oh my God, this is terrible. We better act responsibly and acknowledge accordingly. Nope. Zip your lips, say nothing. Don't panic. Don't do nothing. And it just was like, wow. And of course, my mother explains to me on the ride back, we didn't live 10 minutes away from the school. Like, what surprised me was that A, she was obviously in a panic, and B, she rode out there in her car to get me 10 minutes from the school? Like, I could make that distance up in about that time on my bike because traffic. And I was just like, huh? This doesn't add up. Something weird has happened. Something bad. And then she explains to me that, I didn't understand what the World Trade Towers were. I didn't know about any of that. Obviously, I would learn more as the days and years would move on, And it just was like, wow, I didn't know anyone who was involved with it. Didn't have any emotional ties to it. Didn't lose anyone. Didn't know anything. But, my country was attacked. And it was just like, I had nothing, I couldn't make sense of it. But I also kind of didn't care because I was a kid, and kids sometimes just don't have any emotional investment in big bad attacks that happen like that. Like, it's hard for a child to have any sort of context. As an adult, I'd have a different opinion on it, of course. But as a kid, I was only like 11 or 12. I think I had just turned 12. Like, I didn't know any better. And yeah, I mean, how could you? Seriously, there's a huge amount of anger and frustration in your voice. It's anger because, like, the people who were in charge very clearly they were too spineless to do anything about it. Now, I admit, they were just a bunch of administrators, principals, teachers, whatever, at a middle school at the city that I lived in. Like, realistically, what could they do? Nothing. No, of course not. But, like, instead of saying, oh, well, guys, this terrible thing has occurred, let's all have a moment of silence. Let's try to break this down so that the kids can understand what this means. Nothing. They took the cowardly way out, which was say nothing, do nothing, ignore it. Zip your lip. Don't acknowledge it. And I think I heard maybe once or twice they make mention of it from that point forward. That was it. I only was there for 2 more years after that school. The education system failed me. Well, yeah, I mean, the education system's failed everybody. Thank you, Mona. I didn't expect you to donate again. Wow. That's enough from you. All right, well, I understand. Best Monogatari arc. God, that's hard. Probably Kaiki's arc. Kaiki was cool as fuck. Kaiki is low-key best girl. But, so yeah. That was 9/11. For me, anyway. Can you share a story? Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. But yeah, that was that. 12-year-old Muslim, people called you terrorists for no apparent reason. Yeah, I know. People will associate people with anything. Like, you had nothing to do with it. You had no power over it. You couldn't have done anything. You would have stopped it had you had the chance, but you were just a kid. What could you do? And that's the thing. The irony is, most of us, even now as adults, are still just as powerless. But there's no way in hell the vast majority of us would ever admit that. And, like, playing on 2B2T, as funny as this sounds, has kind of taught me that lesson. That shit will happen continually for the rest of your life. Shit will happen that's out of your control. You best make your peace with it now. Because if not, you're in for a life of suffering. And that's it. You can't really do a whole lot to prevent it. But you can choose how you react to it. You can choose how you handle it. That much is up to you. Even if you're not really you know, good at handling things like that. Like, you still have some power over your fate. And that's in how you react. But that's it. There are going to be events that take the wind out of your sails. There are going to be things that set you back. There are going to be loss. There's going to be failure. But those things don't necessarily mean you're doomed. You can still react or not react, depending on your perspective. That's life. I wasn't even born in 2001 or before. Yeah, you were probably born after. Most people now have ironically been born after 2001. And, yeah, like, it's a hell of a thing to leave for future generations to have to deal with. Because, like, realistically, they can't do anything about it. They can't change the past. You're saddling them with some form of, not really a legacy, but, like, you're marring their legacy by, you know, selfish means, simply for a conviction that will only hurt people. Like, that's silly. That's selfish. That's what that is. It's selfish. But anyway, okay, so Maslin, what's your story here? Let me get your... Okay, so one time during a field trip, our school bus driver decided, so for context, we have an intersection which has a train track right in front of one of the lights so that there's a red light. And get this, your driver decides not to stop in front of the tracks from the red light. She stops on the tracks. Holy fucking shit, that's so illegal. Oh my god, that's like breaking so much protocol. And this is precisely to avoid train accidents. Like, oh my god. Let me guess, the bus stalls. What happened next, Maslin? Don't leave me hanging. It was an international tragedy more than a national tragedy. Yeah, it became an international tragedy. It started as a national tragedy, but it very quickly escalated beyond that. But I mean, that's the thing. 2000, I don't know, when's a good marker? I guess there really isn't a good specific year for this. I guess 2001, because that's when the tragedy happened. But, like, there's no real good point in time you can point a finger to. But I guess 2001 would be the best time to point your finger at, where we have a time period pre 9/11, and then we have a society, a global society post 9/11. And obviously we live in that post 9/11 society, and it's just interglobal communications are instantaneous. The internet has risen to a prominence unlike anything before it. Lives are no longer far-flung, where lives used to be very far-flung. Like, things that happened on the other side of the world were of no consequence to people on the other side of the world because they were on the other side of the world. That's not the case anymore, and hasn't been for over a decade. Over almost 2 decades now. Simply because that one thing changed so much. It changed international flight protocol. It changed how people communicate. It changed how people prepare for tragedies. It changed the world, and not necessarily for the better. But that's the world we live in now. So, I mean, you kind of have to just make your peace with it. Because nobody can change it now. It's, you know, the die has been cast. Like, the world's been set in motion. That's life. You can't... Once the motor has revved up, all you can do is slow it down, but you can never stop it. And then something will come along and change it again. You know, one of my favorite quotes from The Simpsons, of all places, is from Abe Simpson. And he's telling Homer, as a young kid, you know, oh, I used to be with it. And then they changed what it was. And now what's it is weird and scary to me. And then from the shadows of the room, he points at Homer and goes, and it'll happen to you. And obviously this is a moment played up for comedy. But the comedy lies in the fact that it is 100% true. And it's not just generations that this happens to. This happens to the world itself. I used to be a pre-internet age, and then they, meaning us humans, changed what it was. We changed the age. It is now no longer the pre-internet age. And now what is it is weird and scary. Well, the internet and internet culture as a whole, which has pretty well pervaded everything at this point, it is weird and scary. I mean, just look at meme humor. Could you communicate meme humor to pre-internet people? Could you tell people 20-something years ago, hey, one day you're going to go out on the internet with all these unknown people, you're going to be chatting with all these unknown people, and you're going to be sending pictures, and you're going to be making references, and you're going to be, you know, saying and reciting dumb shit that people did, and making, you know, faux pas that ruin your life in front of millions of people. And you're going to love it, and you're going to hate it. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, because that's going to be life as you know it forever. Going forward, that's the change. They're not going to wrap their head around that. They're going to be so alienated by that idea. Like people poke fun at VeggieTales and how VeggieTales called it right that internet humor would be crazy pre-generated. But here we are. So yeah, chew on that. Okay, so back to Maslin's story here. Driver decides to stop on the railroad tracks for whatever odd reason, right? Yeah, and guess what? The crossing gate starts to flash. Oh my god, does it come down on the bus? Basically, as expected, the crossing light starts flashing and our bus was parked inches away from the actual getting hit by the train. Okay, wow, fuck. But you didn't get hit, right? It just passed within inches of the bus. Did they get fired? I hope that person got fired. They deserved it. They broke protocol for that. They put people's lives in danger. That's so fucking stupid. The world gets progressively worse. Honestly, no. I would say the world just gets progressively crazier. And bad things happen and good things happen. And we hear more about the bad than the good. And the good doesn't necessarily take away from the bad, but the bad doesn't necessarily take away from the good either. So, who really knows? You know, I think it's still too early to call it one way or the other. It's easy to get bogged down in the uncertainty and the crazy and the bad, but I can't really say that it's necessarily 100% bad. I don't know yet. I just don't know. Nope, inches away, thankfully. Heard rumors they got fired. Okay, well, that's how it should have happened. Hopefully that's how it happened, and not just a rumor. But anyway. Didn't get The Simpsons predict George Floyd? No, I don't think so. I have no idea. And Twitter? Well, I hate to say this. Like, this is a hot take that nobody wants to hear, but I think is the most accurate. If someone, let's say time travel's real. Time travel is 100% not real. But let's assume for a second that if time travel were real and a time traveler decides, fuck this, I'm going to prevent 9/11. And they succeed. Here's the unfortunate thing about that. I think another 9/11 incident would have occurred anyway. And there would have been no avoiding this because people didn't have the right mindset to keep things safeguarded quite like they do now. Now, there is very much, you know, a surveillance state and things are kind of like, people are not happy. They're fed up with the way things are. Definitely. But I think this kind of thing was inevitable. Just because people, like, there's cycles that happen in the world where weak people create bad times. And people suffer under these bad times. And these bad times inevitably carve strong people. And strong people strive against the weak to make better times. And inevitably, they succeed at making better times. And then better times give way to weak people. And weak people inevitably win out over the strong people, and they win power because the strong people have essentially rested on their laurels. They've given up. They've succeeded. They got what they wanted. And so the weak people get what they want inevitably, and that ends up carving a harsher, worse world that inevitably gives rise to those same strong people yet again. And round does the cycle go. Where it stops, nobody knows. But you better hope and pray it doesn't, because that's probably going to be Armageddon, and that's not going to be nice. I don't want things to end badly for people. I want things to end happily for people. I want people to make their dreams come true and to live their lives the best they can. I want people to be the best people they can be. And not everybody is willing to do it. Not everybody's willing to see it. Not everybody wants to see it. People see faults in others and they're happy. People see that not hardly anyone's really doing anything, and that they don't have to do anything. They don't have to achieve because nobody else is achieving, so they can sit back and be mediocre. And they deride people who are achieving. They get mad at people who do something, or who do something about it. And they're not happy with it. Or they're not happy how people are doing it. I want things to change, but I don't know how I want them to change. And I don't know why I want things to change. They don't have a good concrete answer. But change starts with yourself. That's the problem. A lot of people don't want to do the hard work of starting themselves, changing themselves. That's the painful thing. You'll have 1 million people say they want change, but they'll also have 1 million different reasons and flavors of that change. Well, that's nice in theory, but you'll never put that into practice. You'll never succeed at making it happen. So what do? Well, things keep on keeping on. That's what happens. And so we arrive in the stagnation that we have today. So who really knows what'll happen? I certainly don't. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. But maybe things will get better. Who knows? Okay, let's see here. Let's be honest. The internet is a toxic wasteland. Like I said, I think the jury's still out on that, Mohammed. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a complete toxic wasteland. It's not totally worthless. I think it's still a little too early to call. We've still got a lot of growing pains going on. Psychological subversion is done through generation as each preceding generation becomes more tolerant of change. Yeah. Time travel is real. No, it is not. Just not the way people think. Time travel within the same timeline is completely impossible. 100%. The show Travelers on Netflix does a weird but good job of trying to explain how to prevent 9/11, and it doesn't work. Yeah, I know. Because humans are just like that. Yeah, a little. I'm going to head out for the night. It was nice. Yeah, I'm getting close to ending this too. Have a good day and night. Okay, I will. You take care, man. Thank you for coming out, Farsk. Prevent the creation of Twitter. Family Guy made an episode that was 9/11 prevention, but George W. Bush declared a civil war on the northern states. I mean, that's the thing with time travel. You never quite know how things will veer off. Orwell predicted the surveillance state decades before. Yeah, kind of. But he was wrong in how it would play out. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter. 9/11 and such events allow for a Hegelian dialect sort of on the situation. Problem then solution. Yeah. Think of this as what if everything that happened, like bad events, is because of what, let's say, time traveler changed in a different time and the consequences, or the bad events happen. Like, bad things are going to happen regardless. You're not going to prevent that. Which country am I from? I'm an American. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. Yep. We can technically predict BTTF style time travel will never be possible. Yeah, faster than light, FTL. Yeah, faster than light is impossible. It breaks causality. We would already have real evidence of people from the future, yeah, if it were real. Get out of here, bonus casino spins. Nobody loves you. Goodbye. Whatever. I mean, we got porn, dark web, sexist videos. Well, I mean, you're going to always have bad stuff. A lot of that stuff existed pre-internet, Muhammad. It really did. Have I heard of Hegel's dialect? Effectively, it is the cycle I'm talking about. Also, time travel forward is completely possible. Yes, it is. But time travel, when everybody says time travel, is backward time travel. That's the thing people care about. Forward time travel is all well and good, but it's not the practical thing people want. Yeah, the bots are everywhere. I don't know. BTTF, Back to the Future. Oh, no. I don't think Back to the Future time travel is possible. It violates causality. It violates conservation of matter and energy. It violates too many things to be realistic. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, pain. Time for this pain in the glass to occur. I'll message you from the future. Okay, you do that. If anyone can do it, it would be you, Stone Cold Killer. You're a Stone Cold Killer, after all. Literally 1984. We're not literally at 1984 yet. We're coming close to it, I'd say, but I don't know. I still say we have time to not end up there. We still have a chance. We're not so screwed. Plus, the thing of it is, I don't think a 1984 style event could happen, at least not in the way it's portrayed, because people are looking for it. People are on the lookout for that. They are, you know, they're not going to be caught off guard by that. It would have to take a different form. It would have to be different. You know, you're not expecting someone to walk up to you and rob you. If you're on the lookout for that, people will hopefully not try that. If you're looking for cyber attackers, you're going to be looking for hacking. You're going to be looking for that. You're going to be on the lookout. You're not going to get caught as unaware, you know? If you do get caught, it's not going to be as easy. Okay. Yeah, I should have been doing like this. Back to the Future is your all-time favorite trilogy. Yeah, it's a pretty fun set of movies, yeah. I like it too. Not my favorite movies of all time, but, you know, pretty good. Literally 2001, as in 2001 A Space Odyssey? Or 2021, oh, sorry. Misread. Have I placed the quartz pillars on top of the stairs? No, I don't think I have. Not yet, we're getting it. Who's my favorite builder beside me? I like Etho. Etho's stuff is really cool. Shit. Keep breaking things. I like Etho because he's just constantly innovating. He's really come into his own. He used to not be good at it, but like he's done a few good humdinger type things, and then just over time he's gotten really, really competent at building. His most recent Hermitcraft series was really cool for, you know, just general aestheticness. Like, yeah, Etho has really skyrocketed to being someone I like to watch. There have been times where I've been like, Etho's kind of boring. Etho's a bit behind. He's a bit of a scrub. Etho's okay, but, you know, I'm more up to date on happenings than him. I'm doing more things and more interesting things than him. But lately, he's really, you know, caught up. So, yeah. Just put yourself in the eyes of the elitists who run the world. Best way of ruling the world is by making your decisions look as ethical as possible, I guess. Isn't time dilation a thing? Yeah, but that's travel into the future. Where you stay next to a black hole for so long, the gravity will slow time itself, right? Yes. But that's time travel forward. We don't care about time travel forward. If you go time travel forward, great, but you can't make any use of that. No practical use of it. I mean, I guess if you wanted to like time capsule yourself to where like there's a cure for your disease, I guess, that's still not practical because we can't generate a gravity field that would allow you to do that yet. And there are no black holes nearby you could travel to time dilate and go forward. So it's all theoretical right now. And while I don't doubt it's completely possible, time travel forward's not useful. Unless I'm not seeing something. I don't know. Place down the tinted blacks up above the stairs. Yeah, I'm trying to, but like it places there. If I'm trying to place on the lip of the staircase, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it fucks up. It's so heavily dependent on my cursor, and there's a narrow... See? Clicked on that. There's such a narrow, wide margin of error. But yeah. Remember me from 6A, 6K. I don't know what that is. Favorite 2B2T player other than myself. Ooh. I really enjoyed talking with and playing with Pyrobyte. Damn it. But, while Pyro was cool, I guess Alpha would have to be my favorite player because I'm always interested in his antics. Whenever he's actually playing the game, that is. He rarely ever does nowadays. Time dilation is one issue. In Star Wars hyperspace travel, that's just purely a science fiction device. FTL is completely impossible. Snacky North? Aw, yeah, Snacky was cool. I loved him too. But Snacky kind of stopped playing around the time I made friends with Alpha. So. Like time travel. What the fuck is completely impossible? Well, completely impossible is pretty much like it sounds. It is never going to happen because it cannot be done. Faster than light travel is completely impossible. It violates causality, and it violates conservation of matter and energy. It violates information, too, which is basically the same thing as violating causality. So yeah, it's just not going to happen. Nothing can violate causality. Nothing can violate conservation of matter and energy. The reason FTL is impossible is because, theoretically, if you could do it, first of all, it would require infinite energy to get started. So that right there is a mind-boggler. But even if you could travel faster than light, the problem arises is that you could arrive at your destination before you set out, which is time travel. So yes, if you can travel faster than light, you can arrive at a destination before you set out. As a result, information can affect information before it affects itself, before that information is allowed to naturally propagate. Information cannot affect itself. That breaks causality. Cause and effect. An effect affects itself. That's a causal loop. That's not doable. The universe abhors things like that. It's never going to allow that. What do I think about Fit? Fit's a cool guy. I talk to him every now and then. What is my favorite fast food? Wendy's right now. Favorite fast food restaurants, Wendy's, yeah. Wendy's is pretty based. They're not shit. They're not crappy like McDonald's, Hardee's, and so many others. Like, I hear that Wendy's, or not Wendy's, sorry, McDonald's and other countries are way better. Actually, I should probably just do it this way. Once I get done with the glass, I'm done with the stream. Just for anyone wondering. Brain is too small for this, and it's currently 2 in the morning. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. It's 1 in the morning for me. Jack, ever heard of the unified field theory? Because basically an unmanifest foundation of everything, basically like yeah, that's purported what it is, but I don't know if that's entirely what it will be. Supposedly that's what it will be like, but I don't know. We don't even really have it. It's all proposed theoretical stuff. So I can't really, you know. Maslin, what are you talking about? Place tinted glass blocks above the upside down stairs on the interior. Oh, you mean up here. Like right here? Oh, wait. That tinted. Whoops. I'm just so used to... What do you mean, like this? Have I seen the new HoloLive Ian's V-Singer? Yeah, I saw that. Deconstruct yourself, then reconstruct yourself elsewhere. I mean... Those are some really high demanding things you're asking. Like, deconstruct yourself and then reconstruct yourself elsewhere. Like, maybe that'll be possible. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that FTL is just impossible on the face of it. And any sort of traveling in faster than light, any information going faster than light, is prohibited by the universe's natural functions. Which is why we've never seen any alien civilizations. They're too far away to matter. And because it's inherently impossible, not even they can... You know, there's no level of advanced they could reach that would make it possible. Just like you can't breathe underwater. Yeah, we can circumvent that, but like, you cannot naturally breathe underwater. So, I don't know. If we ever find a way to travel vast distances, you know, like to go to nearby stars, if that ever does happen, it will be without violating some form of causality, so that information cannot affect information before it has set out. That's really the big problem. But oh well, I'm going to stop harping on that. Do I like Fast and the Furious? Not really. Gotta go pee. See ya, Stone Cold Killer. You take care, man. Okay, here's hoping I can kind of, damn it, get this groove going real fast. Feel like I'm trying to color within the lines. Pretty sure the theoretical fastest speed is 5 to 10% speed of light, but the fuel needed is exponential. Yep, that's what I mean. It gets even more exponential as you get closer to the speed of light itself, which is why it takes infinite energy to get to light speed. So, yeah. Aliens, we're an advanced civilization. Humans, we have Minecraft. Aliens, they're better than us. I don't know, maybe. I mean, you should remove the quartz above the upside down stairs. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't understand what you were trying to tell me. So you mean that? Like above it, all across like that? I don't know. Because, see, you're going to be in a boat, and this is going to be eye level right here. So up there isn't really worth anything. Yeah, I guess it adds a little depth. I'm not going to lie. You have a point. But overall, I like it this way. Just to get to Alpha Centauri would be 50 or so years of the best tech. Yep. And it couldn't even be a manned mission, I know. Voyager will probably make it there before we do. If that ever happens. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't think we'll ever be able to go to distant stars realistically. Like, I really just don't think that's going to happen. Now, one of my favorite anime, Cowboy Bebop, did have something of a means to tackle this narratively. And it's a really cool concept. So maybe some type of this is plausible, but I don't know. They had a gate network. They colonized the entirety of the solar system in the Cowboy Bebop world. And the gates were essentially a fast travel. But of course you could only travel as fast as that. Everybody had spaceships and shit. But it required the gate network to be able to do. So while you could travel to Pluto, Neptune, Callisto, Jupiter, Ganymede, all these far-off places, it would take hours of travel, and you could only travel through the gate system. So past the solar system really hadn't been explored and didn't look like it ever would be. And so I could maybe see something like that happening. Oh, thank God it's over. I'm done. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. It's a little bland-ish looking, but it, I don't know. Maybe make it like that. And cap all these off. Yeah, I like that. You're very tired in YouTube with its chat limit. Me having to cram everything in one message, you see it its entirety. Yeah, I know, it's a pain in the ass. I'm sorry, man. Jack, am I real? Yeah, of course I'm real. If we can't travel at infinite speed, do you think we'll be able to extend our lives? Oh, yes. Yes. Most definitely. That's something most people don't get. Like, in the next 2 to 3 generations, if medical technology just keeps doing what it's doing, living for hundreds of years is going to be totally realistic. Like, you tell people you might live to see 1,000 if you play your cards right and if everything just goes well, and they won't believe you. You tell people faster than light is literally impossible and that it will never be real, like Star Trek, Star Wars, etc. They'll look at you in slack-jawed disbelief, like, what? No, of course it'll be real. Like, but you tell them you might live a few thousand years or a few hundred years, and that's totally feasible, and that everybody else might also just live that long too. They'll look at you like you just fell out of the fucking moon. But the funny thing is, one of those is the more realistic take. And it ain't the faster than light travel. And, yeah. Most people just won't believe you. But that is the truth. At least as far as we can tell. So maybe we'll be proven wrong. But for now, it seems to be how we see things. Have I seen Kurskasat? Oh, I love fucking Kurskasat is so cool. I love them. Jack, if olive oil is made of olives, then baby oil is made of babies? No, baby oil is made of polyethylene glycol. And mineral oil, I believe. A few other things. And no, it is not made from minerals. Let's see here. Even if we have the capacity to get to Alpha Centauri, we wouldn't. And Alpha Centauri wouldn't again. Time dilation. Kill of us on Earth before one guy could reach it and then come back to Earth? What? You mean like someone traveling there? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Is motor oil made of motors? Well, there is such a thing as naming something for the use it is intended for, not the thing of which it is made. So, while I understand linseed oil is made from linseeds, flaxseed oil is made from flax seeds, there is such a thing as palm oil being made for your palms, not necessarily from palm trees. So you do have to learn to make that distinction. That's why I should use the create mod, or that's why I should create a Discord so all my fans can chat. There is a Discord now. I don't want to invite everybody to it all at once. I want to have people slowly filter in. So, God, Jesus, there are 49 people watching. I don't want that many people flooding in all at once. Baby oil is not made of babies. Sorry to break that to you. Alright, well, whatever. We can hash out the subtle nuances of making babies into oil later. I'm going to end it here, folks. I'll probably post for a few minutes. Just a few. The Discord. Just so that a few people can join. I don't want everybody under the sun joining all at once, because that will get out of hand so fast. But I don't mind talking to all of you and getting to know you. Just that I don't want this to get out of, to be overwhelming or anything. I'll have to figure out how to match this up later. So yeah, this ring will run all the way around the edge. It will be a means of fast travel. Here, let's get a boat just to demo it real quick. Gotta go fast. Oh God, this is terrible. Oh God, this is fucking terrible. Now I know why people only make straight shots. Holy shit, I'm overshooting so badly. I'm spinning in place. I'm not even touching anything. It's so bad. Oh my God, boats on ice is cancer. I thought the fucking airboat from Water Hazard was bad. Oh my God, this is awful. I literally can't go in a straight line. I made it too narrow. Fuck me. Kind of go on a straight line-ish. Oh my God. Oof. Yeah, that's gonna need a redesign. Bumping from corner to corner is literal AIDS. Oh God. Might be better off with water. Yeah, that's a good point. Oof. Well. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. Sorry about all this, but thank you all to everybody who donated, everybody coming out. Thanks for sticking around through my crazy big brain shit that I know half of you probably aren't interested in. So yeah. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good evening. Where's the Discord going to be posted? It'll be a community post. I'll post it at some point. It'll be random. Be on the lookout for it. I don't know when. I don't know where. It's not going to be up for very long. But I do want a handful of new people to join. So yeah. See y'all later. Catch y'all on the flip side. Bye.